So the thing that I picked up when I started going through all this content is like there's two things that I was doing that are actually making me unhappy. All right?
Podcasting with Grant.
Questionable. Expectations and desires.
You said I was going deep. That's deep. That is deep.
Let's go there. Well, if you expect to be a millionaire at 30 and you're not, that's going to make you unhappy.
Totally, yes.
If your desire is to have a $5 million house in Toorak or Rose Bay or in insert place and you don't, that's going to make you unhappy. If you expect all your staff to never resign and never get sick and only do perfect work and then they make a mistake, what do you think it happens?
Totally.
If you expect all your clients to appreciate the hard work you're putting in and understand that and just, send you messages going, hey, well done. And then that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you expect your toddler to sleep perfectly every night, you can see, right? It's like, but again, it's like, so for me, I looked at this right now and gone, well, the first thing is I have unrealistic expectations of my business. I'm expecting everyone to be perfect and they're never going to be. Where if I expect that things will go wrong every day that things don't go wrong, man, it's a party.
Yep.
It's, again, setting that there. And it's like desire-wise, it's like, and the whole like Buddhist thing around, the secret is if you don't want for anything, then there can't be suffering, right? That's one of the Buddhist teachings. But there's a whole bunch of truth to that as well.
There was this great interview. I think it was like 60 Minutes or like a Current Affair or something like that I'm talking like a decade ago, which is how much this thing has ingrained in the back of my head. And the interview was with the World Guinness record holders for the longest marriage. And they asked them what the secret was to this. I found this amazing. And she said, no expectations. She's like, and they've been married for 90 years, right? And she's like, on a Thursday night, I'm grateful that he's having dinner with me over poker with the boys, doing something else. She's like, I'm just grateful that he's there. I don't expect him to be there, which means that when he is there, I appreciate that. And I'm like, mind blown. Like that was in my 20s when I heard that, and I'm like, you're joking. Like 90 years of like no expectations for you to be there on a Thursday night dinner. Like you could do anything in the world, and you chose to be with me to eat dinner that I've cooked, and that makes me happy because you could have done anything else. And I'm like, just like put that in your cap.
Completely. And you can apply this like everywhere. Like you really can. But expectations, I think, are huge. Desires are huge. It was just like one of the little mental things as well. So for me, when I became financially independent, right? So when I no longer had to work, right? So I never have to do business again. When it became get to, like that mental switch from things in my life being have tos to get to. I don't have to look after a toddler. I get to look after a toddler. I don't have to do business. I get to do business. That significantly reshaped my own happiness as well, I will say.
So to that point, because you are someone who still has goals that you're trying to achieve and you still push the envelope, and you could interpret goals as like some type of desire and some type of this is what I'm going to. Is it that you just interpret if you miss it slightly differently? You're like, well, I hit 80% of where I was hoping to get to. Because a lot of business owners listening to this, they're like, well, I want to hit a wealth goal of, $5 million. I want to hit, $100,000 a month in my business, or these things that they're working towards to continually improve. And most of them won't hit it in the time frame that they're hoping for. And so is that you just go, well, at least I got somewhere towards it. At least I'm doing the activities, as opposed to being thoroughly disappointed and beating myself up and saying, well, I just can't do this. I'm out.
That's an interesting point, right? I think for some, this is the point where I'll call it go monk. Do you know what I mean? Just like they just fall off the world of going, well, I'm not going to have any desires. I'm not going to have any goals. Like that's the way to be happy, is to just eliminate.
Yep. Enjoy. Right? What is it? Enjoy the journey, not the destination.
I'm going to say that I don't interpret it in that. I can understand why someone would, and like that's a way to play it. Just like if you got to lose weight, one of the ways to do it is to restrict calories. The other way is to burn more calories in that example.
Yep.
So when I looked at this here is like, I don't think of this as like, oh, okay, well now I want to be happy. I can't have goals. I can't
goals.
Try and achieve. No, I just think this is the skill set that sits within it to do it in a better way.
Yeah.
Like if your goal is to lose weight, well, why not eat a few less calories and increase the burn? Like play it from both sides. So if you're going to set goals, doesn't it make sense to not beat yourself to death when you don't hit them? Or like if you're going to set goals and chase things, like why make it the worst experience in the world to do so? Like it's not, you don't have to do it that way to achieve it.
Yeah. And also if I look at it as like any progress is typically good progress, and without some kind of goal, there's nothing to really work towards. Because I would argue that the goal creates the motivation and the motivation creates the happiness. I interpret if I miss my goal or hit my goal different ways. Like it's on me. And I'm like, dude, I'm down for, what is it? Aiming for the stars and hitting the moon, because it was like well above what I was expecting. I was just like, oh, wow, that was great. So I love that. I think that the expectation management is huge, because a lot of people expect to do things that at the point where actually are probably unrealistic for them to achieve, or they just never had the skill set to achieve them in the first place, but they didn't realize they didn't have the skills to do it. So their interpretation is key. But yes, I've done the same.
Hey, fellow business owner, if this topic and value-packed short video has resonated with you at all, and you want to dive deeper into being a full stack business owner, check out the full episode by clicking the link on your screen or in the description right now.